Okay, so good evening, everyone. So today is Wednesday, and we have Angular APAC meetup at Angular Nation. So this is the last meetup in 2021, and we have Varus to from Spain to show us how to use tweet to remove toxic messages. And I want to give a shout out to HE Agree. So like nothing like we won't have a free channel and free tech talk to everyone uh, in Anchor Nation without their generous sponsorship. So please, like, I don't know, give a shout out to AG Grid on Twitter or in Anchor Nation posts or use their product to show your appreciation whenever possible. So, whereas the floor is yours. Yep.
Thank you, Connie. So my name is Golea. I am a software developer. I have been working in software development since 2015. I have started learning software development since 2009. And my talk today will be about how to uh, eliminate toxic behavior from Twitch channels. So, first of all, I wanted to introduce the motive, how everything started for me. During the pandemic, I'm not sure what you guys did during the pandemic, but I am want to work a lot whenever I'm in house. And one of the things that I love the most is to sort of have some background noise. I usually put some series on, watch movies. Not really watch them. I'm working, but there's background noise that helps me focus. And during the pandemic, I haven't been playing uh, any games since 2009, since because it didn't interest me. But during the pandemic, I got involved with this game called Valorant, which is for those who know it, it's a 5v5 game. Um, uh, Connie, do you know it? So it's a 5v5 game, sort of like Counter Strike. It's a shooting game, and I love the esports community that was built around it. So I started entering Twitch channels and watching streamers that play a lot better than me, and I started learning from them how to play and stuff like that. And it became clear to me that some behavior in those chats are purely toxic and shouldn't be allowed um, in the different channels. So, how it started, I saw that during those chats, during those interactions between the chat and the community, the streamer, there were some sort of bots that responded to people's questions if they were often, and there were some commands that would do some sort of stuff depending on the on the on the request, right? So I thought of myself, well, why shouldn't we clean up the community, right? I've seen uh, comments like I mean the less awful one was I hope you die, right? Which is not something you would like to hear in a chat, yeah. So it comes from death threats to sexism to uh, uh, purely toxic homophobism. You can see everything during those chats, and have it creates a bad interaction between the rest of the chat, that user, the streamer, and everyone else. So what I what it appeared to me fairly obvious in the beginning was that the, um, the different streamers were like doing something which was talking with each other, saying, please ban this person from your chat. Let's ban this other person from these chats, so they don't do the same thing in your chats as they did in ours. So this is the place that my idea came in, which was, well, why shouldn't we? How can we automate this and do it much faster, right? So, um, as I said, I have started with software development since 2009. I love JavaScript. I love TypeScript, and I love some pretty little frameworks, which I will show you in a bit, which are Angular, of course, NX, Nest.js, and Prisma, NXS, for state management. And I developed this cute little bot, which we'll see in a moment, and we'll go through all the parts that I found out that were quite difficult at first for me to understand, and we'll see why we proceeded with the technique or other, right? So I I am not the kind of person to go too much um, into presentations, into PowerPoints. I love to dig into the code and see what's going on. So I'm going to do just that. Before that, I have to apologize. I'm in a cafe, so there will be some background noise. You will hear it. I hope everything is all right. And yeah, that's it. I will start sharing my screen right now, and let's get into it. So I hope you guys can see my screen. Um, if you can, please speak
Yes.
up because I'm
Yes.
in
Yes.
I can't see the window anymore. So let's see if I can zoom in this properly. Can you see the
Yes. Can see the
everything, right?
folder names. Yeah.
Okay. So my bot name was, I called it Ban Everywhere, which actually um, it's self-explanatory. I My idea was that if there is the possibility that someone can join in the website. Uh, a, a streamer can log in their website. That website would actually allow. I'm going to allow the pop up. Yeah, something
I
happens
feel
with
like we're gonna
Safari
have to
each.
test this by logging in live and like spamming you with abuse so that we can
Yeah,
see it working.
exactly.
We're ready, Rose.
Exactly.
We're here for you. You just
Well,
let us know when
well,
you're ready.
actually, we will see it live, like running entirely. So let me minimize this. Let me put this here.
I think the people in
Um,
this call right now are too nice. I don't know if we can bring ourselves to cuss at you.
well, we can do that. So this is fairly simple dashboard, where you can kind of select your favorite streamer. You as a streamer can select another streamer, and you want to select how you want to get that ban request from and how to process it for each streamer you love, right? So it doesn't matter if they already have the bot or not. You can select someone, you can set their validation, and it just if you select automatic, if the streamer ban someone in their chat, it automatically gets banned in your chat, right, as a streamer. The other way is that if you select with validation, if this streamer bans someone in their chat, I will see a queue right here where you can see all the bans and unbans requests in your table, and you can proceed to actually ban that person or not. So, in order to do this, I started with a basic NX project. For me, it was important that both backend and frontend, since I'm the sole developer of this, both the frontend and backend, whenever I push to master, I would also have the front end, the back end, everything updated for me. Because this, as you can understand, this bot doesn't require to be online all the time. It can be online whenever the streamer is on. So, yeah, that's one of the things. So the first thing I did was to look in for a package that would allow me to connect to the IRC um, from the chats from Twitch, which it's called TMI.js. This is a library that allows me to connect um, to the chat and to actually spawn up a bot. They have their website right here, I believe. It's fairly simple. You just need to connect to the channel you like, and whenever you receive a message, you can return another message to actually say something, or you can actually use another a whole lot of commands to allow it to work. So I'm going to just dive into the bot um, right here. So I have created the bot here. As you can see, the client has, let's see the TypeScript. The client has um, a lot of actions, right? You can VIP someone, so you can VIP someone if you want to. You can check if it's a moderator of that channel. You can see all the channel moderators. You can listen for a message, and yeah, you can say something in that chat. So if I say for my channel, let's say hello world, I can do that, no problem there. I actually wanted to do a factory that generates this because I introduced it in Nest.js as a injectable. So this was the way to actually do it. You kind of go to the module. I generated the module here, which is a bot client module, where you call for root, you call it with some options, or if you need an async provider for it, you can also do that. Nest.js generates that module for you. So you actually need to import. Sorry for that. Um, you you actually need to import some modules and and uh, and actually provided some options, right? So you you create the options right here, which I am generating them uh, right here. This is the options injectable. Um, you can um, you can select it as an options provider, and you then inject them into the bot client factory, and it gets injected right here as some bot client options, which I have them defined right here, right? So I require a username, an access token, Twitch auth URL if required, and you can set in a debug. These all come from the TMI library, which I mentioned before. I also used a TMI JS commander library, which actually allowed me um, to go into the bots, the commands, and declare them like some uh, extendable classes, right? So I can say invoke, and I get some command origins which give me uh, context for it, like the author, the identifier, the rest of the arguments from the message, and the channel and the client. So whenever I declare the command, I just need to go to the service and register the command just like this, and it would actually work. If I go right now to the twitch.tv.zoker, which is one of the streamers that allowed me to use this bot in their channel, um, I can write this command in chat, and the bot responds to me with the word Pong, which is what the command was intended for me in the beginning, right? So I declared my commands right here, um, which is ping, which one is to say ping, which responds with Pong. One is to actually ban someone, and this is how you would do it. Um, this code isn't required anymore. Sorry for that. You actually get the user. You say, okay, if the user doesn't hasn't inserted a reason for that ban, then say, you should insert the reason in the chat. If you do something like if you actually complete the reason, you actually say, okay, so uh, this streamer banned that person, banned that user because of this reason, and it was banned by this uh, moderator. So it can be both the streamer or the moderator. I can control my who is allowed to use these commands because of my validate decorator, which we will see in a moment. So this is the way to ban someone. You then just ban them, and that's basically the starting point of the ban commands, right? So you have the unban command, which does the same, but the other way around, and you can also set in some settings which allows you to, so if I go here to Zoker's channel again, which I'm a moderator of, I can say, because I'm a moderator, I can say settings. I will set my channel as an automatic ban, right? So this is how I can also assign the same thing that gets assigned right here for the streamers I watch. So yeah, both the moderators and the streamer can configure that in their chat, right? So these are my four commands, which is not very complicated, but as soon as I got into it, I quickly realized that Twitch has a limitation. You can only join um, uh, 50 channels a time per instance, and you can only use those keys for 15 instances. So if this grows quickly, having just one bot, it kills the entire workflow of all this, right? So if you have too many streamers, if you have too much workflow into the app, you will get uh, errors. You will get the bot that will crash because it cannot connect anymore. So what I actually did was to do two things to avoid this, right? So I'm actually checking if a streamer is online and offline. Um, and if they're online, I'm connecting to them. And if they are offline, I'm disconnecting from them. So that way I can um, I can be sure that I'm not wasting my resources in channels that are not online. So as soon as I got there, I did um, this service, which is basically a cron that checks if the user is online every um, every minute, right? So the only thing I'm doing is I'm checking which of my um, users are uh, are connected, and then I'm checking if they are still online or they are offline. If they are offline, then I'm disconnecting them. If they are online, I'm letting them to be still connected. Um, yeah. So no, I'm checking. Sorry, I'm checking if all my users. I'm just requiring the machine UUID, which I'm assigning to each and every one of the streamers to know which instance of the bot I'm being connected to. So I can launch this bot instance in many instances, um, and I can assign my users, I can assign my streamers to the different bots, and I can say, well, this user is connected to this bot, so send this ban message to that bot and make sure he's offline, and he's banning this person. So if I'm doing um, that, I also need a queue to ensure that all my bans are requested properly. Which co- this is where the queue processor comes in, and the only thing I'm doing is I'm handling the ban and the unban. I am getting the settings for all the users and the users, and then I am seeing if they are pre-approved, or if not, I'm just introducing them in my actions table, where if they get online again, uh, I am going to process um, that those bands right here. So I'm emitting a value. I can't find it right now. Where I am actually, yes, right here, and I am actually setting them and telling them, you should actually um, process these bands whenever that streamer is connected. So this is what the queue processor does. The online checker just checks if I'm online or offline, and then I just have the simple API where I am authenticating with my different strategies. I'm logging in with Twitch as a first instance, but I'm switching to a JWT strategy as soon as they log in, and all of the requests happen from here on out with my JWT token. And I'm doing this because I have a limit on the API. So I cannot request each and every time to log in with Twitch and make sure that that token is valid. I am doing it only when a person logs in here, and I'm switching to a JWT strategy as soon as I enter. Right. So one thing I wanted to show you guys was the permissions decorator, the validation configuration that I did, which allows me to use some roles, which is moderator, streamer, or user, check in, and I can pass them a validation config, which is a record, a partial of record of boolean, or a function that returns a boolean. So I can use a validation configurator that, as validation config. I can type well right now. Um, So if I go here, I can actually set up my moderator. I can set them, well, this command, I want you to be allowed to use it. Or if you're a user, I can only allow you if um, you you are if your username is this username, whatever it might be. So for the ping command, as I showed you earlier, I am allowing them. I am allowing myself everywhere to use the ping command to make sure that the bot is online. I can type this in every chat, even if I'm a moderator or not, and if I am a if I am trying to ban, I am required to be a moderator or the streamer itself. So I can allow this with just the simple function, the simple pull decorator here. I can allow this validation to go up and down the roles that I might need. So um, I am just in my function. I'm just um, setting a default role as a user. If the author is a moderator, I set it as a moderator. If not, I am setting. If not, if the username is the channel's username, then I am setting it up as a streamer. So what I'm doing here is just a function with which just switches between my config, um, my value in the config and role, and if it's a boolean, I return the boolean. If it's a function, then I execute that function, and right here, and that's how I get the the permission um, in it. So I'm just um, replacing that method with the decorator, and I'm calling it only if uh, the user has roles, right? So I'm not allowing it to go any further from this if the user doesn't have any roles. And that's how I'm doing the, the command validation right here. um, then I'm logging the error. If the I'm just logging the error. If there is some uncaught error, I'm setting it up right here to tell me, there has been an error in this constructor, in this class, and this method. So that's how I'm targeting it, and then I'm logging it out. If there is an error, I can quickly spot it and see whenever I'm getting um, I'm getting that error. So this is the bot client. This is the online checker, as I mentioned before, and this is the queue processor. So I used Prisma. I really love Prisma because it allows me. In the beginning, I tried to use it with MongoDB. For some reason, MongoDB didn't allow me to use it properly, or as I wanted, because it required Prisma requires a shard configuration, which I didn't want for my bot. And what I did was to quickly switch from Prisma to Postgres, and it allowed me to, within several minutes, switch my entire development process from MongoDB to Postgres, and I feel it's a quite powerful tool to switch between databases if by any time you might need to do it. So I'm just declaring my models, the user, which has a machine, UUID, as I showed you earlier, some settings, which I declared them here. Those settings, I'm setting them up in a settings collection or a settings table, and I have two possible actions, the ban and the unban, and those get processed right in the actions table. And I also have the machines table, which I'm storing all the machines that are available for each bot. So what I'm doing here, in order to declare the bots individually, is that I am at the beginning I am just creating a bot identifier. I'm generating a random string, and this bot identifier, I'm creating a machine with with this, right? So it's a fairly simple concept. I'm just setting everything up here. So while we're in this point, I would also like to show you the way that the commands come from the queue processor to online checker to the actual bot. So whenever a user bans someone, that ban goes to the queue processor with uh, Nest.js's Bull library. Bull.js is a queue library. For those of you who don't know what it is, it's a library that handles um, mm, large processes asynchronously. You just give it a task, and you can spawn up a, a an instance or something, and from that instance, it will get processed, right? So whenever I'm also getting the the ban request, i'm I'm so right here I'm just sending a message from both my API and the online the queue processor. I'm sending a bot pattern, um, which is bot ban user, and I'm checking if my user is in this machine, and if it's in this machine, then I'm going to perform the ban user request, right? So it's not really complicated, but this is the way I'm processing this. So once everything right here is spun up, then I just have a template here for the admin, which I only have a store for. I have an ngxs module, which allows me to have the entire state here, um, with the profile, the JWT bearer, the access token from Twitch. If I might require it at some point, I just set it here, and whenever an action is triggered, then I set it up to that state, right? So I'm setting up all these selectors, where I'm just getting a validation. So for example, if I'm authenticated, then I'm using this to set it as true, and this will actually cache all my um, data, and it won't request it, it won't execute this each and every time. It will only propagate whenever a change is set in the store, right? So in my um, Asgard, I can say, okay, then select if the auth state is loaded, then filter it if whenever the the is loaded, uh, is the auth state is loaded. So I'm filtering the false results, and then I'm switch mapping into the auth state is authenticated selector. And if it's not authenticated, then I navigate to dot auth um, the auth path, right? So if I'm in my Twitch, if I'm logging out, if I'm trying to go to my uh, settings, I'm not allowed because the auth is the auth model is the auth state is loaded, but I'm not authenticated. That's how I'm returning. So I just have to do an auth guard right here, and uh, then this model cannot be activated. And that is basically how I am doing all this. So whenever a streamer from one channel bans someone from the other channel, they actually get um, banned from there as well. So what I'm going to do right here is, just because um, um, I we are also ban people like this very weak. I'm going to start the stream, um, and I'm going to show you how it actually looks. So um, I'm going to start the stream. Uh, Program edition. I'm going to start the stream from my mobile phone. Um, and yeah, I will start right now. As you can see, I have my mobile phone right here. Um, and whenever I'm reloading this page, um, as you can see, a minute needs to pass by, and whenever this minute is passed by, have a bit of patience with me on this. 15 seconds. Right now the bot is logging in. It says, I'm sorry for the delay. And then it bans all these people from my chat because all of these reasons, right? So this person is insulting the streamers. Um, it's spamming everywhere. Um, this is another toxic streamer. Toxic streamer. This person is insulting the stream. So yeah, that's how it works. That's how it gets processed. And if I in the future need to ban someone, I just hit ban, and yeah, you've seen the process. If you want to see more and have questions, the entire repo is up on GitHub. Our Golea, ban everywhere. It's all here. I hope I'm okay on time. Um, I'm not sure. Yeah, I will add the link in the um, chat. And if you have any questions, yeah, why did I decide to use Angular? Firstly, it's because I, first of all, I love Angular. I've been in Angular for mostly the past 7 years. I've been with Angular since version 0.8. That's not the real reason why I feel like an Angular application gives you a better way to expand it, especially for enterprise level applications. So in the future, if this app goes well, I can just make sure that my small apps work properly, and I can test out those apps individually, and I can get my head out of having a bad experience with something breaking from one part to another. For me, having separate apps for separate small apps, not components, small apps is a key, a really big key into um, scaling up an application. So that's why I decided to use Android. Uh, any more questions?
Yeah, Tito has. I mean, Tito put up his hand.
Tito? Oh, yeah, Tito.
Yeah. I was wondering, where did you get the dictionaries of the words that determines the bands
No,
the user, or what determines the words? What determines yeah, just like the dictionary. Where do you get the dictionary of words that's balanced
so,
users with?
so you you are asking for if there is a spam, if there is a filtered dictionary, or if how did I set up those commands? Uh, if there is a dictionary, I haven't set it up yet. Uh, I haven't set up an automatic process. I just allowed moderators and streamers to ban from their channel to to other people's channels, right? So it's not that I'm doing an automatic work because that part is actually handled by Twitch. I'm actually empowering moderators to ban in multiple channels. I
Okay,
see
I
that
see. Uh,
interfaces for the properties. What do you mean? Um, if I'm not using some interfaces somewhere, um, I'm not sure if I'm not. It might be because this was my experiment on it. It needs more testing. Uh, it needs to get more robust. But if you're going to wait until a pro, if until your application gets production ready for you, it won't ever come out because you're always going to try to improve the smallest part of your code. So one thing that I've learned building this is that you need to launch it, see if people are reacting okay with it. I currently have streamers that are using this bot, and if they like it, and if it gets and if it gets used, then you can spend more time on it. If not, you can go ahead, scrape it out, and build some other thing instead. Um, and that's something that I've been learning all these years, is that you need to make sure that you launch something. Um, we as developers want to be perfect, want to have the perfect program, um, and I've stumbled across parts that I've been building for a whole year, an application, and people haven't used it because it wasn't what the market really wanted. So my suggestion to you, um, if you're seeing this, is go ahead, build something, try to see if the basic product works, and then improve on it. Uh, Things that I have to improve on this, which I quickly realized, is that streamers are really lazy. They don't like to uh, get in the dashboard each and every time. They want it configured automatically. They don't want to waste their time on it. So right now I'm thinking of a groups like in WhatsApp or Telegram or something, into making groups where you can add your streamers and they get added to that group. They can accept through the channel they are already into, and then allow them to join that group and receive those bans automatically from there. Or and also have the ban queue been written in whispers in direct messages to the moderators of that channel, so they can process it accordingly. This project isn't finished. It's just a demo of what can be achieved and how it can be useful to the Twitch community in this case. You can do it for Discord, for Twitch. You can do stuff similar to that. You can actually uh, get in the code, see some ideas. I actually set up a GitHub Actions that is pushing my code to my server whenever I push to master. So each and every time you want to improve something, make sure that your time is correctly spent on, right? Because your time is the most valuable thing you can bring to the project. Um, yeah. More questions?
No,
Well,
no, I
if
don't see any questions. But I'm very curious with the stack you use, like
yeah,
Nest
sure.
and Prisma. Yeah. Did you use microservice on Nest? No,
Uh, if I used what?
microservice.
Yes, I used microservices. But what I found while building the microservices, and I haven't really got into um, a solution for it. I'm not sure if switching the protocol for it, because right now I'm using Redis. I'm I'm sure that if I will use MQTT or something like that, it will allow me to actually process it in another way. But what I found is that whenever I receive a message in a microservice, and it gets received in all my instances of that microservice. And the first one that responds is the one that gets processed. I don't know if there is a way that where I can say, just ignore this message, or say something like, mm, don't don't respond to that to this message if it's not needed, because the API, once it sends that message, whenever it receives the response, it receives it from the first one that responds. So if it's not the bot in question you might want, because your user is not connected to that bot, it's some other bot, um, you are receiving an empty response, and you're getting an empty response in the API, which is not what you want to get. You want to get the processed information. What I did there was a workaround where I just delay about 10 seconds, I think, the response on the bots that aren't responding, that will not respond. It's it's not clean. I would like to contact the authors of the of Nest. Kamil, I believe it's his name. I want to contact him, but I just haven't had the time. But yes, having the microservices helped me build that bot into multiple instances and not worry about which one of the bots is going to get spawned, or it will process my request. As for Prisma, I used it, for what I said earlier. I switched quickly from one thing to another. I love that the interface they give me quite complete. It gives me cursors. It gives me pagination. It's something that I really like, and it generates for me the TypeScript I need to actually use everything properly inside my APIs. So yeah, anything else?
Great. So any question? Does anyone have a question for Rose? Oh. So
I don't have a
how
question, but I just want to say congratulations on killing your first talk.
yeah how
Thank
do you
you.
feel now?
I'm still in shock, but uh, I hope I can manage.
Yes.
Oh, so there is a question in the chat. How how do I generate that Prisma uh, TypeScript? I just need to um, go to my. Oh my god, this isn't. Oh yeah, right here. So I just need to go to um, my generate, which is just an npx Prisma generate in Prisma. What it does behind the scenes, it goes to the node modules and it generates a node here, right here, Prisma client. It builds my DTS, which is right, oh, right here. Prisma client DTS. And it sets up all this TypeScript for me, which if I need to um, go somewhere and do something, I can just go and say this DB service um, user, and then have all my TypeScript here. And it also um, can, right, if I type find unique, it can generate also the unique parts um, of my model. So display name ID, login Twitch ID, those are unique, and those I can actually use. So if I go to machine, um, I can go and say ID UUID, or if I go into actions, I can select only the ID, which is the only thing unique in there. So yeah, that's the way I I did it. thank you for everything. Thank you for the opportunity. Uh, Thank you for the kind words. This was my first presentation.
Oh, is it?
Yes,
Oh, okay.
that's why I picked the 29th. I I hope there will be less of people going in the
Oh,
conversation. You were a lot, so thank you very much.
I hope it won't be your last talk.
I hope not, but I have
The
to
first one is
recover
the
from
hardest,
this one.
whereas once you get through this one, like, yeah, you have nothing to worry about. It gets better and
I
better with practice. It gets easier with
I,
practice.
I recommend everyone to try this at least once. It's been a lot of fun.
Absolutely. Great job. Thank you for teaching us cool stuff.
Thank you.
yeah. You can come back maybe in 2022.
Sure. If you'll have me, I will come back. Next time, I promise I can bring slides. I usually don't like slides. I like to jump in the code, but
We like
next time
code. We're fine with code. We don't have to have slides. If there's code, we're cool.
Yeah. Me
I can
gusta
come when.
código mucho, mucho. Yeah.
Now, if you brought us slides and no code, that would be even
Yeah,
worse. See, so
yeah,
it's better
yeah.
to have code and no slides than slides and no code.
That's what I thought. Yes.
Muy bien. Yeah.
So,
Very good. Yeah.
if you guys see this afterwards, you can get in touch with me on Twitter, on Angular Nation. I use I usually get into and respond as fast as I can. So I'm 24/7 connected to my phone, which is not good, but uh, I can manage. Yes.
Uh-oh.
Yeah. So thank you.
No, no, thank you. Yep. I mean,
Thank you.
it's great that like Angular is not just for web application. Like it can be used in other use cases. So don't limit the framework to one usage. So that's the
Exactly.
beauty of like software development.
Exactly.
Yeah,
Your imagination is the only limit.
true. Yep. So and very happy that like we are here like in Angular Nation, like cozy place that people can come and have first talk, second talk, or I don't know the hundredth talk. Yeah.
Yes,
This
So
is
the
the end of our
Angular
second
Nation.
year, you guys.
is it?
The
Isn't that
Angular Nation
crazy?
Wow.
part was amazing. Thank you, Bonnie, for the
Yeah.
community. It's a place that I've learned so much in the past year, and I hope it can go on for the next, I don't know, 15, 20 years at least.
I do too. Hopefully, if I can figure out how to make it sustainable. We're just making it up as we go along right now, but hopefully, if we can make it sustainable, it will be here. That would be awesome. We're still figuring it out. But AG Grid definitely has helped us because the problem is like almost everything is free, right? So the bills add up after a while as the platform grows. But AG Grid is helping us keep a lot of things free, and we're doing all kinds of new
Thank
things.
you,
So it'll be cool.
thank you,
So
AJ Grid. Thank
yeah, we
you.
love AG Grid.
Yeah. We have
It's
to
nice
say
having
our
free
prayer.
events.
We have to say our
Yes.
prayer to thank AG Grid.
Yeah, they're awesome.
Yeah.
All right, my friends, I have to run to another meeting. This was really cool.
Yep.
Thank you very much, Connie, for the amazing channel,
Thank you.
and Rares for the amazing demo. It was super cool.
Yep.
And is this our last? This is our well. We have the Friday social. I believe we're having the Friday social on Friday the 31st. We'll have a big party, and other than that, I think that's it for the year. Crazy.
Bring
Yeah.
champagne.
Yeah,
Bring champagne.
absolutely.
Thank you.
All right. See y'all soon.
Yeah. So
Bye.
thank you and bye. See you guys in 2 days. If I don't see you
Yeah.
Two
guys
days.
in 2 days, I'll see you next year. Yeah.
All right.
Your Friday
Thank you.
social is like
Thank
my
you,
Saturday
Rose.
nap, morning nap, or something like that.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you.
See
Thank
y'all
you,
soon.
Rares. Great job. Great
Yeah,
presentation.
yeah.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
I wish my
Thank you,
Spanish is
guys.
as good as your English. I cannot do Spanish talk. Nope.
You will. You will.
Yes, you will, Connie.
Someday,
You
yeah.
gotta practice.
Uh
The
oh.
more you
Yes.
practice, it's gonna be like second nature.
I'll try.
Thank you, guys. I learned a
Thank you.
lot. Thanks, Malay.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah.
All right,
So
I'm gonna drop off.
bye. Have,
Bye,
yeah.
guys.
Bye.
Bye.
Yeah. Bye. Have to
All right.
go.
Bye bye.
Let me start
Bye
recording.
everyone.